Hello everyone. So today we will see the last bit of the topic, chapter 4, carbon compounds. Only two topics are there, that is a functional group and a homologous series. After that, nomenclature and the chemical properties are deleted by CBSE for this year 2020-21. Sorry, 21. Yeah, 2021. Okay. So we will see the functional groups first. You know, carbon has got a tendency like catenation, isn't it? Catenation means what? Catenation means the unique ability of carbon to form carbon-carbon bonds, that is self-linkage. So you know, carbon to form a large molecule, you call that unique ability of carbon as called catenation, isn't it? So you know, carbon it's a versatile property of carbon, or the versatile nature of carbon, one of the versatile nature of the carbon. Okay, now carbon has got an ability to form carbon-carbon bonds. At the same time, carbon has also got the tendency to form bond with other atoms. Like, you know, carbon-carbon bond is there, but carbon has also got the tendency to form bonds with other atoms other than carbon, like carbon nitrogen, carbon hydrogen, carbon oxygen, carbon sulfur, etc. Okay, or carbon chlorine, etc. So all these atoms, carbon can link to other atoms other than carbon. Okay, for example, carbon oxygen, carbon sulfide, carbon chlorine, carbon hydrogen, carbon nitrogen, etc. You will study higher classes the detail of all this. So carbon has the ability to form bondage with other atoms other than carbon atoms. So these atoms which carbon are linked, see, other than carbon atom, these, what are the atoms? Sulfur, oxygen, nitrogen, chlorine, hydrogen, etc. etc. These atoms are called as heteroatom. What is it? Hetero means difference. Homo means same carbon atom, means you can say it is homo. You have studied homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture, isn't it? So homo means of the same category. Hetero means different from that. Okay, so hetero means carbon and sulfur, different element. Okay, then carbon and oxygen, different element. So that is called as heteroatom. So these are called as heteroatom. Okay. So this is the ability of carbon to form so many compounds other than carbon atom, and that atoms are referred to as a heteroatom. Okay. Now these heteroatoms are linked to the carbon atom either by groups or by themselves. What do you mean by that? Either by groups or by themselves, which means that I am writing some examples for you have to study, only 3 or 4. You have to study those heteroatoms which are linked to other, forming a group. For example, see, carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. This is a group which contains the heteroatom of oxygen and hydrogen other than carbon. Okay, or I can say one more as chlorine. Chlorine, you know, halogen. This is a heteroatom. Okay, or a group of atom, that means carbon, oxygen. See, oxygen is a heteroatom linked to carbon atom. Okay, or I can say COOH. See, carbon, oxygen and hydrogen. Okay, so all these groups which contains this heteroatom or independently this heteroatom, see, chlorine or bromine, see, these are called as functional groups. Okay, these are called as functional groups. See, functional, I will tell you detail later. So that heteroatom, okay, or group of atoms, see, in this heteroatom is oxygen and hydrogen other than carbon. So group of atoms or heteroatoms are linked to the carbon chain. Okay, and that groups are called as functional groups. Okay, so these are the examples of functional group which you have to study. Okay. Now, one by one we will see. Okay. Now, there is a table in your book about this functional group. That is, here the first is halogen. Okay, halogen, you represent it as X. The X can be, this is a heteroatom. Okay, this is a heteroatom. So this is halogen. X can be chlorine or bromine. See, X can be chlorine or bromine. And the other heteroatom is oxygen. So two types of heteroatoms you have to study. One is halogen and other is oxygen. Okay. Now, in halogen, where the heteroatom is halogen, the functional group you call it as halo. See, the functional group you name it as halo, which means chlorine, you say chloro. Okay, or bromine means bromo. That is halo, functional group. And now we will see the formula of the structural group. Formula, see, chlorine I put like this, or bromine I put like this. Now you are wondering why I put this dash here. This states the valency, the free valency of this chlorine and bromine. And these valencies are for what? For combining with the carbon chain. For example, if there is a compound like CH3Cl, the functional group is what? Cl, which comes as a valency. Okay, so how this comes? That's the next question. These heteroatoms can be joined to the carbon atom by the replacement of hydrogen atom. See, that is very, very important. So how this functional group occur? The functional group occur when, for example, if there is CH4 methane, simple example I will give you, CH4 methane. Now, how this heteroatom is attached? How you will attach a chlorine atom? You can attach a chlorine atom by replacing a hydrogen atom. See, one hydrogen atom. So it will be CH3Cl. See, keep in mind that you have to know that the valency of carbon will be always 4. Okay, if you want the structure, see, this is Cl, H, H and H. Valency of this carbon 1, 2, 3 and 4. See, 4. So it is satisfied. So the functional groups are obtained by replacing a hydrogen atom by all these heteroatoms. Got it? How the functional group is formed? The functional group is formed by replacing the hydrogen atom. You can replace one hydrogen atom or you can replace two hydrogen atom, no problem. But see whether the carbon atom will satisfy its valency as 4. Okay, so it is joined by the heteroatom by the replacement of hydrogen atom. So you replace this hydrogen and you make it chlorine or bromine or oxygen or whatever be the group, etc. Okay. So that is okay. Okay. Now we are coming to the functional group of this oxygen. So first one is the halogen. The heteroatom is halogen. That is, you can represent it as X. X can be either chlorine or bromine. Now the name, the functional group name when it is chlorine is, you say chloro. It must be ending in O. Chloro, bromo, iodo, etc. Okay. The formula is C, Cl chlorine, but there is a free valency here. What is this free valency? This line represents the free valency where the carbon chain is getting attached to it. See, for example, I already told you CH4, I replace one hydrogen atom to form CH3. So it will link with the chlorine atom. Okay. So that is how you form this functional group. So here the functional group is chloro. Correct. Or for example CH3Br. The functional group is bromo. Okay. So whenever you writing this valency, this has got a valency of 1. You know that halogens have got valency of -1. So one valency is there for them to join them. Okay. So that is the formula. Now coming to the heteroatom oxygen. What are the functional groups which we will see with this oxygen atom? Okay. There are the first functional group is that is CHO. See, CHO. That means this is always called as a free valency. It is called as free valency. And in this free valency, the carbon chain is attached. Okay. Now what is C? Carbon. What is H? Hydrogen. And what is O? Oxygen. So this is called as, like chloro, this is called as aldehyde. What is it? Aldehyde. Okay, it is called as aldehyde. CHO. Okay, now the formula is, or you can say the structure, how you notice that this carbon atom satisfy the 4 valency, that you can depict in the formula or structure. How is it? You have a free valency, functional group will have a free valency. So carbon, okay, this is double bond oxygen and this is hydrogen. See, that means carbon, this carbon 1, 2, 3 and 4. Oxygen has a valency of 2, 1, 2. Okay, hydrogen has that valency of 1. So it is clear. The satisfying all the valencies. So this is called as aldehyde. You are hearing for the first time, isn't it? So CHO, the functional group CHO is called as aldehyde, and the formula is CHO, and the structure of this functional group is C double bond O hydrogen, and here it is a free valency. Okay, this is the first group of containing oxygen. The second group is alcohol. See, this is a free valency again, which is attached to the carbon chain. This is oxygen and this is hydrogen. This is named as alcohol. See, this is named as alcohol. Clear? And its formula or a structure is, here it is a free valency, the same free valency, then a bond and H. So oxygen is 2, hydrogen is 1, valency is satisfied. Clear? Okay. Then the third one is CHO is aldehyde, OH is alcohol, and one more COOH. See, if the functional group is COOH, for example, if you want an example, CH3COOH, see, this is the functional group. Got it? Or if you want CH3OH, this is the functional group. Okay. So COOH is called as, like aldehyde and alcohol, COOH is called as carboxylic acid. What is it? Carboxylic acid. COOH is called as carboxylic acid. Now what is the structure? See, this valency, the same as this valency, carbon, then 2 oxygen, 1 oxygen for double bond, other oxygen for OH. See the valency? Carbon 1, 2, 3, 4. Correct. Oxygen 1, 2. Hydrogen 1. So the valency is satisfied. Isn't it? So this is again a functional group. And the last functional group you want to study is CO. See, there are 2 free valencies. Why 2 free valencies? Because in order to attain the valency of carbon, okay, it should have 2 valencies are there. Here are all others are having 1 valency. We will have the free valency 1, but in this CO, it is having a 2 valency. So that is called as ketone. What is it? Ketone. 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 And its structure is, see, this is the valency. This is the O. So O is double bond O. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. Clear? So these are the examples of functional groups, and you have to study 5 functional groups. One is halogen, that is halo. Then CHO, halogen means chlorine and bromine mainly. Then CHO, that is aldehyde. Then OH, that is alcohol. Then COOH, that is carboxylic acid. And CO, which is ketone. Correct? Okay. Now we will define what is a functional group, or how you can define a functional group. Okay. You can define a functional group as the heteroatom, isn't it? The heteroatom or the group of that atom. The heteroatom or the group of heteroatom will have specific property to the compound. To whatever the compound which is linked to, that heteroatom or the group of that heteroatom will confer or will have specific property to that compound regardless of the length and nature of the carbon chain. That is the specific definition for functional group. Once again I will tell you, I'll just give an example and tell you, like just I will rub this, okay, one only halogen I will rub it, okay. I will tell you once more. What functional group definition says? Functional group says that, the functional group may be defined as the heteroatom. You know what is heteroatom? Other than carbon atom, whatever is that is a heteroatom. Okay. So heteroatom or group of atom. Heteroatom itself is, you can have halogens, only chlorine or bromine. There is no grouping here, like independent. Or group of heteroatom, that means CHO. That is a group, isn't it? Heteroatom is hydrogen and oxygen. Then oxygen and hydrogen, heteroatom other than carbon. Here oxygen, hydrogen. So group of heteroatom will have or confer or have specific property to that particular compound. For example, if I say a compound is having a formula CH3OH. CH3OH. Now, if you take this particular compound, the property of this compound, listen, the property, that means physical property, chemical property, what are the chemical reactions, what is its solubility, what is its melting and boiling point, all depends on what? All depends on this heteroatom or group of heteroatom, which you call it as functional group. Correct? And it also says that this heteroatom or group of heteroatom, which you call it as a functional group, will determine the property of that compound. So in CH3OH, who will determine the property of CH3OH? This OH will determine the property of this full compound CH3OH, whether it is a physical property or it is a chemical property. Then one more point is regardless means no matter whatever be the length of the chain, the nature of the carbon chain. So that is the definition. So again I will say once more, functional group can be defined as the heteroatom or group of heteroatom which confers or which have specific property to that compound or which gives specific property to any particular compound regardless of the length and nature of this carbon bond. Okay, so regardless of the length and chain of this carbon chain. So that is called as what? Functional group. Okay, for example, if I again want to say that functional group, for example, if you have a compound like CH3CH2OH, here there is only one carbon, here there is two carbon. But here physical property changes because molecular mass increases. But the chemical property won't change. All the chemical properties are same for these two compounds, very close similar chemical properties, because the chemical properties are determined by this functional group. Since they have both has got the same functional group, that is OH. What is OH? Alcohol. OH. Then this functional group will determine the chemical property of that compound. That is the definition of a functional group. And what you have seen is the free valency. It can have more than one free valency in order to meet the valency of carbon. So in the free valency only the linkage happens. This CH3CH2OH is linking to this OH by this free valency. See, free valency. Okay. So or CH3OH or CH3Br. So that line is called as the free valency. And through the free valency, the linkage happens or the compound is forming. That's all. Simple. The compound is formed by getting the free valency with the functional group. Clear? So you know what is functional group. Examples of functional group. What are the examples? Halo. In halogen, chloro or bromo. Then aldehyde. What is aldehyde? CHO. CHO is a functional group. Isn't it? A group of heteroatom. So aldehyde is CHO. But whenever you write CHO, you cannot write simply CHO. See? If you write simply CHO, it will be wrong. Why? See, in the structure C double bond OH. 1, 2, 3. Where is the other valency? 4. So you have to show that valency also as a free valency. There is no matter, you don't write any group there. But if the structure is asked, the formula or structure is asked, you have to specifically show what? Specifically show this free valency. Otherwise the valency is not adequate, isn't it? So you have to write the free valency also. Okay, so this is about the functional group. I hope you understood. Okay. So once again I will clear or sum it up this functional group, because it is very, very important. Since you don't have a naming, you don't go further into details, but still you should have a knowledge of how the compound goes. Okay. So once again I will tell you the functional group. The first functional group is halogen. Okay, halogen. That is, it can be of two types, chlorine and bromine. So you can't write like this. How will you write the formula for chloro and bromo? You have to write the formula of chloro as the free valency and chlorine, and the bromo is the free valency and the bromine. If you have the structure of if you want a compound by linking this chlorine, a simple example is CH3Cl or CH3Br, or you can have CH3CH2Br. See, this is how it goes. Okay, so this is the first functional group, halogen, and it is named as halo. Since naming is not there, I am not going into detail. If naming was there, you can name it as chloromethane or bromoethane. Just for the information, you just write. Okay, the name is chloromethane. Okay, here it is bromoethane. Just write it down, just the name. Okay, so this is the functional group of halogen. Clear? Okay. Now the second functional group is group of functional group, isn't it? Group of functional group. The first is, once more I am telling you because it is important. First one is aldehyde. Aldehyde, what is a functional group? That is CHO. Can I put CHO like this? No, you have to give a free valency. See? Now what is the structure? I will again write the structure once more. Please listen carefully. This free valency is there, carbon. Carbon should satisfy 4 valency. So 1 is hydrogen. So 1, 2. Then comes the oxygen. So oxygen needs 2 valency. So this is the structure of aldehyde. Correct. Then, got it? Okay. Then comes the acid. How acid is done? Acid is COOH. See? H. This is the free valency. So how will I do structure? C, the free valency. One oxygen will be double bond, other oxygen will be the single bond. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. Correct? Now where this hydrogen goes? One OH bond. So here also satisfies this valency of oxygen, that is 1, 2. Hydrogen is 1. So exact valency, isn't it? Okay. So now this is acid. Now what about other one? That is alcohol, isn't it? Alcohol. And what is the functional group of alcohol? It is OH. OH is alcohol. Okay. So this structure is simple. That is O and H. Oxygen has got a valency of 2, hydrogen 1. So this will be OH. The structure will be like OH. Okay. And the last is ketone. You are remembering? That's why again once more I am telling it because it is important. You are having it for the first time. That is why. So ketone is having 2 valency. Isn't it? 2 free valency. CO. CO is ketone. Now how the structure goes? 2 valency is there. So C. Okay. Double bond O and O. This is important. You may get it wrong, but still the carbon, you have to see whether the carbon has got the 4 valency and oxygen 2. You know oxygen valency is 2. So instead of writing this CO, you can expand this CO as C double bond O. Even you can write like this. Someone asked me, can we write like this? Yes, you can have in the downward direction also, no problem. The same thing. So these are the functional groups. Hope you are clear with the functional group, isn't it? Okay, so how will you define a functional group? Functional group is, it's a heteroatom or a group of atom that have specific property to the compound irrespective or regardless of the length and nature of the carbon chain. That means the functional group will dictate, isn't it? Or it will tell you the property, in fact the chemical property of that compound. Property means chemical, but physical changes because as the molecular mass increases, the density increases, the solubility can vary, the melting point can vary, that apart. When we talk about the chemical property, it definitely will be similar because the functional group will dictate the property of that compound. Isn't it? So that is called as the functional group. Okay. Now coming to the last bit, that is homologous series. Okay, this is also a new thing, that is homologous series. If you know what is functional group, it is very easy to understand what is homologous series. Okay, you know that the carbon atom can be attached to other atoms like heteroatoms like nitrogen, oxygen, sulfur, etc. that we see in the functional group. Correct. Now, this for example, I will tell you what a homologous series is first and then I will explain it. Okay. For example, I have a series like CH3OH, C2H5OH, C3H7OH and C4H9OH. See, these are three compounds, and what are the peculiarity of the compound? All these compounds will have the same functional group, that is OH, isn't it? All these have got the same functional group OH. That means this has got an alcohol functional group, isn't it? Okay. Now tell me, what this, if you want to have a more structure, like this is not a condensed, this is a formula structure. Now if you want a condensed structure, I can write it as, listen, CH3OH, expanded structure, you mean expanded structure, CH3CH2OH, correct? Then CH3CH2CH2OH, correct? And CH3CH2CH2CH2OH. See, this is the compound which I am writing here, or which I have written here. I expanded in this form. Do you find any similarity or difference between these two? And I may say all these are homologues. What is it? Homologue, or a homologous series of this alcohol. This is the first member of the homologous series, that is one carbon atom. This is the second member, third member, fourth member, and it goes on like this. But it will have an OH group. So, as you know, the chemical property determines what? This functional group. So, regardless of 1 carbon, 2 carbon, 3 carbon, 4 carbon, regardless of the carbon chain, the nature and the chain of the carbon, the chemical properties of all these compounds remains what? The chemical property remains same. Very important. Chemical property remains same. Why? In all these compounds, who is dictating the property? That is a functional group. That is a OH group. But why I say this is a homologous series? Why I say this is a homologous series? See, what is the difference between the first and this adjacent, the second homologue? These are called as homologues. Okay, this is a homologue of this, this is a homologue. So, this is called as a homologous series. So, tell me, what is the difference between CH3OH and CH3CH2OH? What is the difference? Tell me. What is the difference between these two? CH3OH and CH3CH2OH. That is second homologue. You may find one CH2 extra, isn't it? One CH2 extra. Now, tell me, what is the difference between this and this adjacent homologue? What is it? Here also, one CH2 extra, isn't it? And here, again, one CH2 extra. Which means that what? What does it infer? It means that every adjacent homologue means it should have a same functional group, isn't it? Or in alkane also you can have homologue, but we will deal later. So if it is the same functional group, the adjacent member of the alcohol must differ by what? A CH2. So you can also define like that also. There is no specific definition for that. So if the adjacent member of the two compounds differ by a CH2 unit, that is, you will write like this. It differs by a CH2 group or a CH2 unit. Why I put 2 valency here? Because only 2 hydrogen atoms are there. So 2 more to go. That is why I put like this. So if the two adjacent compounds differ by a CH2 unit, then it is called as a homologue. And a series of compounds like this, you call it as a homologous series. You understood? See, from this and this, again a CH2. But you can't say CH3OH and CH3CH2 CH2OH is a homologue. Correct? Can I say? No. Why? Because this and this differ by C2H4. No. You can't have like that. If you want to say a homologue series, the adjacent member, that is the point, the adjacent member must differ by a CH2 unit. That is important. Okay. Now CH2 unit is that group. Now if you convert it into atomic mass, what will be that? One CH2 group is how much U? One CH2 group is how much U? One CH2 group is 12. I mean carbon is 12, isn't it? Mass of carbon 12. Then hydrogen is 2. So 12 plus 2, how much? 12 plus 2 is 14. So we can also define the homologue series as in terms of atomic mass unit or ununified mass. That means if two compounds differ by a mass of 14 U, or if two compounds differ by a CH2 group or a CH2 unit, they are called as homologues. And the series of compounds like that is called as a homologous series. Isn't it? Correct. One more example I will give you. Okay. One more example I will give you. Like there is note in particular that you have to start from one carbon atom. No. For example, see, write the first three homologue. The question is, write the first three homologue of CH3, CH2, Cl. See, I want to write the first three homologue of this compound. So this is named as the first one. Now I have to write the three more, but it should be a homologue or homologous series. So you know chlorine is the functional group. So the same functional group must be there in the homologous series. Am I right? Yes. Then what is the difference? This and the adjacent. This and the adjacent will be differ by what? A CH2 group, isn't it? So I can write CH3, CH2, CH2, Cl. This is the first homologue, isn't it? That is, this and this differ by a CH2. See? Correct. Now, they are telling three homologue. Write the first three homologue. So they are telling first three homologue. So what this is the first homologue. Now what is the second one? CH3, CH2, CH2, one more CH2 and Cl. The second one. So this and this differ by a CH2 group. Correct. Or a 14U. Okay. Now the next homologue is CH3, CH2, 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 ClC. One CH2 is extra. So this is the first three homologue of CH3, CH2, Cl. So it is not a law or a rule that always the first homologue must be having a one carbon atom. No. It is not like that. Whatever the question demands you, you have to answer like that. It may be starting from this. Who knows? So from that you have to carry on with the three, adding one CH2 in each compound. That's all. It's very simple, isn't it? So this is what is called as a homologous series. Okay, series of compound which differ by the adjacent compound will differ by a CH2 group or an atomic mass of 14U. So these are called as homologous series. Okay. Now again you can write homologous series not only with the functional group but also with the simple alkanes or alkenes. See? How can you write with the simple alkanes and alkenes? How can you write? Okay, we will see. Okay, if I say an alkane, for example, simple. Okay, alkane. We will talk about alkane now and then we will go to alkene. Correct. Now, when you talk about alkane, you know what is the formula? CnH2n plus 2. Correct. What is the first compound? CH4. CH4. Now, what is the, or if a question is asked, write the first three homologue. Write the first 3 homologue of CH4. So how will you write? How will you write? The first and the second will have a difference of 1 CH2 unit, isn't it? 1 CH2 unit. So how it will be? CH3, CH3. See? Which means 1 H4. So CH3 plus 1, 4. Now what is remaining? CH2. See? Okay. Now the second homologue. Second homologue is easy because CH3 you put 1 CH2. That's all. See the difference. Here in the second thing some may have some difficulty. Why like this? There is no CH2 added. Teacher asked me to add a CH2 to get a homologue. But why in this case you are not adding? Definitely I am adding the CH2. See, in the CH4, you can't have like, see, you can't have like a compound like CH3, CH2. Is it? No. You have to get the valency correct. That's why I already told you. Whenever you write an organic compound, first you see the valency of carbon is satisfied or not. Otherwise the compound doesn't exist at all. Isn't it? That's why. So here CH, now you can't write because how? This carbon has got 4 valencies. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then again a valency bond. Then 1, 2. See? Now how the valency? This carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this carbon 1, 2, 3. So is it valid? No. That is why in some cases, there are some cases or rare cases where you have to treat like this. That's all. So you just go through it. How this compound came. So teacher said only adding, you go on adding CH2, 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 you get a homologue. Yes, that was the case when functional group is there. Okay, or 2 carbon atom is there. But if only 1 carbon atom is there, if you want to add a CH2 group, it will come like this. See, I added CH2. See, CH4. Then here it is C2H6. So I add CH2 here. CH4 plus CH2. What is it? C2H6. Am I right? Okay. So like this it happens in special cases because you have the valency satisfied. There is no compound like that what I wrote here. There is only this compound ethane, methane, ethane, propane, isn't it? Now the next compound CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3. 1 CH2 is added. Now it is easy. Then the next homologue, what is it? Next homologue is CH3, CH2, 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 CH3, pentane. Now you know what is the next formula? Hexane. What is the next one? Heptane. What is the next one? Octane, nonane, decane, etc. So on all these 1 CH3 or a 14U is added. So that is called as a homologous series. Okay. So this is how. Or if you want a formula, see sometimes when in some question paper formula is asked, formula. Then what you will have, for example, C2H6. They are telling write the first 4 homologue. Write the first 4 homologue of this series. You just add CH2 and write the formula. C3H8, C4H10, C5H12, C6H14. Just the difference of these two is CH2. These two is CH2. These two is CH2. These two is CH2. Just recheck it. So this is how you write the formula for homologous series. Okay. Now I'll give you a homework for also. See, just write the first 5 homologue. Okay, homework. Homework is write the first 5 homologue. Okay, the first 5 homologue of the series. Okay, of the series CH3, CH2, CHO. Correct. This is the first homework. Okay. Now one more homework if you want to do. Get a practice. You can have CH3OH. Now these two you write the first 5 homologue of the series, and also I may say C2H4. This is an alkene. Remember. Let me know how much people you do that alkene. Okay, I need a first 5 homologue. Now, one more thing I want to tell in this homologous series is, as you know, the physical property here have a gradation in physical property. What do you mean gradation? That means as you go from top to bottom, or if I write the 5 series of a homologous series, you know, after every compound one CH2 is adding. That means 14U is adding. So the molecular mass will get increased, isn't it? Yes or no? Yes. So since the molecular mass is increasing in this homologous series, definitely the physical property will vary. But still the chemical property remains same, because chemical property is who is demanding the chemical property? That is the functional group is demanding the chemical property. So the physical property, there is a gradation in physical property. But why? Because the value point is the molecular mass increases. See, since the molecular mass is increasing, there is a gradation in physical property. Now, what is physical property? If you want to tell me, for example, melting and boiling point, solubility, etc. Physical property, density, etc. So, all these things vary, but the chemical property remains same. That is the value point. So, why the physical property vary? Or a question comes like that, in the homologous series, physical properties show a gradation, but chemical property is same. Why? That is the value point is, since the molecular masses are increasing in this homologous series, there is a gradation in physical property, but the chemical property is determined only by the functional group, thereby the chemical property remains the same. So, there the carbon compound is coming to an end. I don't know whether the nomenclature is for you or not, but in the deleted portion, it is not there. But if somebody wants the nomenclature, how to write a name of a compound, just give me a call, I will come to you. Okay, so that's it till now. Just prepare the notes, go to the exercise, do it. If any problem, give me a call. Till then, thank you.